Okay, today what we're going to do is we're going to make a decorative pouch. You're going to be making an embellishment on the pouch, and you're also going to be closing it with a button. And so let me show you how we get started. You're going to take a piece, this is a half piece of felt, and you're going to find the middle of it. And the way that you do it is folding this right down the middle. And from the bottom, I want you to mark 1.5 inches right in the middle. You can use a pencil. And from the top, I want you to go down 4.5 inches. Okay, so this has to you have to remember that this is the top right here. All right, now let me show you the next step. I have the button sewn on at the 1.5 inch mark. So you're going to pick a button. You already know how to apply the button, and you're going to apply it, and you are going to make sure that you double knot it in the back. Now, what you're going to be using is embroidery floss, and this is a little bit thicker than the thread that you've been using because this is actually 6 strands woven together. So in order to get it through the eye of the needle, you need a needle threader. And you can see with this needle threader, there's a large hook and a small hook. You want to use the end with the small hook. You go through your needle, you take your embroidery floss, you lay it in the hook, and then you pull the hook back out through the eye of the needle. And now you're threaded. But the difference is, before when we were practicing sewing on buttons, I had you even up the 2 ends and put a knot in them together. Now this is going to be a little bit different because I want you to make one end shorter, and you're going to put a knot at the opposite end. Remember, you wet your finger, you wrap it 1.5 times around your finger. With your thumb, you're going to roll it right off your thumb and give it a pull without letting go, and there you've made a knot. Right, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to position our design. Whatever design you choose, make sure that this is the way you're going to lay it out. In other words, the button's closest to you, and you're going to put your design right over where you had your mark, and that is the up edge of the design. So we're going to start from going around from the back, and we're going to come up through both pieces. Okay, so I have a dog bone here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go down through the yellow, and I'm going to come up through the blue. And before I close the loop up, I'm going to then go through the loop. Notice that I've held this on with a straight pin. And the way that you pin is always you pin in and you always come out. Be careful not to poke yourself. If you do, it doesn't really hurt. Don't be afraid of it. Once you get it secured, once you get the stitches secured, then you can remove the pin. So we're going to go down, we're going to come up, and we're going to go through the loop. Now remember to always go through the loop the same direction. Let me show you what I mean. If you're sewing like this, you're coming down through the yellow, up through the blue. You're going to go up through the loop. You're not going to go down through the loop. Don't switch. If you start off by going down through the loop, then keep going down through the loop. For me, I went up through the loop, and that's what I would prefer for you to do because it's going to be a little bit easier. And then you're just going to keep going around and doing the same thing. Now notice where I'm holding this thread. I don't want it to slip off the needle. So I'm always holding it right at the eye of the needle, right there. That's where your fingers grip the needle. So I'm going to keep on going. I'm going to go in, out, and then I'm going to go through the loop. I'm going to go down and up, and then I'm going to go through the loop. You're going to go around until well, there's my dog. There, you're going to keep on going so that you have enough thread. But if you get short on thread, don't make your knot at the last minute. You have to leave at least 2 needle lengths worth of thread in order to make your knots. So make sure that you don't sew all the way to the end. I'm going to just finish this up right here. This will be my last demonstration stitch. I'm going to go through, and now let's pretend that I don't have much thread left. In fact, I'm just going to show you I do, but I'm going to go on the back side. You can see the threads that the stitches that I've done. I'm going to pick up whatever I can as far as the last stitch goes. And I'm going to make my knot like this. So I'm going to go through the last stitch, I'm going to go through the loop, and I'm going to do it one more time. So I'm going to go through the loop, and that'll give me my double knot on the back. Then I'm going to re-knot it. And again, if you need more thread, now's your chance to put on more thread. And now I'm going to show you how to make this into a pouch. We're going to take it and we're going to fold this up from the back, and we're going to fold this top down like so. And I'm going to go ahead and cut my buttonhole just like I showed you how to do it before. You're going to fold it up, but remember, you can always cut more. You've got to start really small. Make one little tiny snip. Let's just make sure that it goes through. And if it doesn't, then give it another little tiny snip, okay, until you can get the button to go through smoothly, but you don't want it too big, all right? So now, this is what the pouch is going to look like. You're going to have completed the whole design before you do this. I'm going to unbutton it, and right here where I have it, I'm going to take a pin, and I'm going to put the pin in right here. I'm going to take a second pin, I'm going to put that pin in over here. Now I'm going to hold down the sides of my pouch so that I can sew it. I'm going to take my needle and my thread, and I'm going to start by going on the inside. I'm going to leave the knot on the inside of my pouch. So I've got the knot ready to go. I'm going to tuck it in, and now I'm going to go over and around the edge, and then I'm going to go through the loop. I'm going to continue that blanket stitch, but now it's a little bit different because now it's going to join together and overcast around the edge of the pouch that you're making. So I'm going to come up, I'm going to go pull the loop, but I'm going to go through the loop. Right? Make sure that this, again, it's called the blanket stitch, and you want to make sure that you do an even job. And you want to make sure also that the tension is the same. In other words, you don't want to pull too tight because then it'll look real puckered. You just want it to be nice. The tension should be the same for each stitch. When you get to the bottom, and again, if you need to let out some of this thread, you may do it like that. But always make sure that you grab the needle by the eye of the needle, so that you don't lose it. You don't lose the thread off the edge of the needle, the end of the needle. Okay, so now here I am. I'm at the very end. I'm going to make a double knot. So here we go. Here's, whoops, there is one stitch. I'm going to go through the loop. There's the second stitch. I'm going to go through the loop. But what I want to do is I want to bury the end inside. So all you do right now is you go into the middle of your pouch with your needle and come out anywhere you want to. Make sure that you don't accidentally sew it on the back, and then you can just cut it. Okay? That'll allow it to stay on the inside of your pouch. Right? So once you finish one side, you can put away that pin. You're going to do the other side the same way. You're going to button up your pouch. And this is a flap that's going over it. If you want to do something decorative with the flap, you can do something like this. You can hold it together. I'm doubling it up, and I'm going to cut like this. This way I get both sides the same. And there you have a button. Okay? And you can finish your, make sure you get your design finished before you sew the edges. So there you have it. It's an embellishment done on using a blanket stitch on a pouch.